Naya, knock it off, please. Can you go lay down? No. Go lay down. Stop it. You're doing too much. You better not be over there biting on that rug. I already told you that. I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Get out of here. Go lay down. Go lay down, chump. You a chump. Go lay down, you chump. Come on, get the hell out of here. Come on, you messed up my live, man. Get the hell out of here. Naya, I'm going to get you. I swear. Get out of here. I'm not taking you outside. I'm going to leave you in the house. Oh. Okay. What did I have to put? Oh, I got to do an update too on this silly computer. I didn't move everything up. I'm going to lose none of my tabs. Ain't never enough coolness. I can't see shit. Let me see. Hot in New York City. God damn. All right, so let's see. All right, let me put the link in the chat. Nobody ever uses it, but I'll put it in there anyway. All right. All right, let me see. Oh, wrong thing. What's wrong with me? I hope that's the right one. Naya, stop it. God damn it. Why are you such a bad dog? Why? You're a terrible dog. You know that, right? You'll get thrown out. All right. Do I have any volume on this? I do believe so. All right. Here we go. And hello, everybody, whoever's out there. I was a little restless, but not anymore. I actually was getting ready to take a nap, and I said, now I'm going to get up, play on the computer. My lip. Okay, I'm just done. I don't give a damn. Now you move. Let me get my never mind. I had to get another fan. It is hot down here. It's starting to turn into summer. Like it's like 90 degrees outside, and it's freaking 9:13 at night. All right, here we go. Listen, I wanted to come to put people's minds to rest about affirmative action, right? And a few other things, right? Here's how it goes. I want to show y'all, because I was at work and a lot of people were flipping out about this. And I'm like, y'all are late to the party. First off, they did this years ago. You already know it. It's otherwise known as reverse discrimination. And if you guys would have read that entire decision when they did the Roe versus Wade, you would know that this shit was coming. And now that I'm bringing this up, I want y'all to go back and read the whole decision again so that you understand that not only is this coming, but they're coming after the LGBT people too. And they're going to try to go after, what is that? The marriages, the miscegenation laws and shit. They're going to try to go after everything that they had in those decisions because they're losing control of the country. So they're trying to find a way to get it back. And when I say losing control, I mean people of color start they're becoming a problem for the whites in their dominance and their control. So they got to find a way to reel everybody back so that they can stay above everyone else and in control. Because right now they're having a lot of problems maintaining that. All right, so I want to go into this first so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Now this is an article from the New York Times, right? I'm going to show you what I'm speaking about. All right, so you get the ad, but okay, so it says the Supreme Court turns equal protection upside down. Now, let's be honest and realistic about these things. I personally have not ever known any person in my entire life, any other person I've known in their entire life who has ever known any African American person to ever take advantage of affirmative action. Now, I heard earlier on Mocha Mommy's live that one of her relatives actually was able to take advantage of it, but I think it was like her grandfather or somebody like that to show you how it really didn't affect Black people. It mostly helped Asian people and white women. And we all know, right? The reason why Asian women and white women get helped by these things more so than African Americans is because they're the ones that are always looking to compete and get into these overly white arenas that normally block them out. Whereas African American people, we're not really doing that. And for the few amount of African American people that apply for all of these white Ivy League kind of schools or wanted to work in their companies or etc. Uh the same amount, which was less than 10%, got accepted every year with or without the damn shit. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. This doesn't really affect Black people. This affects other people. The same way you see Asian people getting upset, like here in New York City, about the specialized high school testing and the PSAT and SAT. They get upset about those things when they get angry that when they are the majority of the people allowed to take advantage of these programs, when these programs are done away with, what other chance are they going to be given to be given a higher advantage or more of an advantage over you? So it takes their advantage away and it makes them have to really compete with the rest of us on an equal playing field. So they're going to get very upset. And I could almost guarantee you that there's going to be an Asian lawsuit in reference to this. Because here in New York City, the way it works is we have a couple of high schools that are very prestigious. Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, and Bronx Science. Now, if you're one of the children that are selected, hear my words clearly. The incense is getting on my nerves now, but selected, not literally smart enough to go to the school, but who are selected, right? You, from those kind of schools, pretty much go on a kind of, Naya, get out of here. Hold on. Get lost. 1 second, y'all. Naya is worse than one of the damn children. So they get upset because that advantage that they have to go to one of those three schools gives them pretty much a track to go to these type of really exclusive and Ivy League and private universities. Whereas if they just went to regular high school, they would never have the opportunity. And the way they get in is not by testing. Because I'm gonna tell you a true story. My daughter, the first time she took the PSAT, I'm talking about my oldest daughter, out of a 1600, right? She got a 1520. Now she was so upset, crying, acting crazy, and being a nut job. But she had just studied a couple of months and got a 15. I told her you did a good job to get a 1520 out of 1600. You did a good job, right? When you have the Asian kids that study for years and years to get a 1600 or very, very close, right? Now, the way all those tests work, because I want y'all to be clear about what I'm saying, right? So that you understand the advantage these people get unfairly because of these things that exist, like affirmative action, that people think actually give black people a leg up when they don't. They actually give other people legs up that don't really need it, right? So it's not, those tests are really not about a person being smart, because there are books that teach you test taking strategies, right? And these test taking strategy books teach you all of the different strategies there are in the world or in your area to take tests, pass them, do well, so that you could get what you want out of life. And that's what the Asian people do. In addition to that, they also pay for tutoring and train. If you do not stop, I'm gonna put you in the crate. I'm telling you. They also pay for tutoring and training to take these tests for years and years before the test, making those companies lots of money. And so other people, when they see the results they get, they follow suit. And basically what happens is that all of the children that either don't choose to take that tutoring and pay for that training, or who could do good on the test without the damn tutoring and training, they don't usually get in. But the people who have spent all that time and spent all that money with these companies, test taking strategy companies that work with the PSAT and SAT here in New York City, it is really crooked. They get an advantage over the other children. I'm trying to see if I can find one of these books so you can see it. Well, what do they have right here? Whew. Let me write test taking strategies for a PSAT book, right? All right, let's see what comes up. Because this has been going on in New York City for a long time. Because even when I was in high school here, I could go to the library and like find all of these things to teach you how to take these tests and do well. And this is what they do. But then they run around trying to make people think that they're smart as hell when they're actually not. So I'm going to show you, I want to share this with y'all. Let me see, am I sharing it? No, it's not being shared. So let me stop that and do it the right way. Because I want y'all to see this so that you understand the backdrop of why these people are going to be going crazy very soon legally, simply because of the fact that, okay, it's showing that they're mediocre at best when it comes to really competing with everybody else when everyone else has the same opportunity. And this is a reality that they don't want you to know about. So this is why you're going to see them come out real soon with lawsuits, acting crazy, and everything else. Because it hasn't hit them yet, because it just happened like, what, yesterday, day before yesterday? So here it is, right? On the screen here, do you see all this Princeton Review, PSAT prep, and all this nonsense, right? This is what they do. They do this for years. They start their kids studying this nonsense since like junior high school, some of them even in elementary school, like 5th grade, 4th grade, right? So usually when they start studying to take the, what is that? I love that shit. They start studying for the spelling bee. They start studying for this as well. Now, studying and practicing to take a test does not make you smart. It just prepares you to be able to take a test and pass the test because you know exactly what it is you're looking for in order to ace that test. So, do you see all of this stuff that's here uh, about teaching people how to look for all the different strategies there are to ace a test? Then now you even see that you have videos as well talking about strategies and tips. I'm bringing this out for a reason, right? So this is what is done. And then look at this here. See what I mean? Like a full study guide, all types of things so that they can get an advantage. Because most people, you study the little prep book they give you from school and you go from there. You don't usually lose your mind the way they do because they understand that if you were actually given the same opportunity as them, you would blow them out the water. So now in getting back to this Supreme Court case, right? I want to show y'all something. So this is why it doesn't, you don't need to get crazy, right? So it says the Supreme Court turns equal protection upside down. That's a very misleading title to an article. Very misleading. And I want to show y'all something. Okay. See here, let's go back to, before I show you, well, let me see. Should I show you first? Yeah. I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, yeah. Okay. So this is why it doesn't matter, right? 9 states have banned affirmative action. Here's what it looks like. Okay. So in California, right? And we're talking years ago, right? Not just because they did this the other day. Here, right? This is an article from 2021, and it talked about 24 years ago, California was consumed by debate over affirmative action, right? A charismatic black businessman named Ward Connolly led support for Proposition, I know some of y'all remember this, Proposition 209, a ballot initiative to ban racial preferences in admission to the state's world-renowned public universities. The measure passed with 55% of the vote and inspired similar changes, hear this now, in nearly a dozen other states. So do y'all hear this? So when they spring this stuff on you, like they did the other day to make it seem like, you know, affirmative action being taken away is going to set black people back 1,000 years. Nothing could be further from the truth, and it's a bunch of bullshit. Because we talking about 24 years ago, y'all. 24 years ago. Then, when we go down a little further, look what he says. That same Connolly man, right? He says, affirmative action, Mr. Connolly said, is outdated, unfair, and bad for everyone, including students of color. And honestly, I'm not trying to fuck around with y'all. He's actually telling the truth. All right. Of black students, he said, and I'm going to put this in before they even go talk about it, but I'm going to show you. This happened, like he said, 24 years ago. And what happened was that people who didn't understand that this really didn't affect them, they stopped really applying to colleges, and they stopped going to so-called Ivy League colleges, and they started going to community colleges, state colleges, and private institutions, Catholic institutions, instead of Yale, Harvard, and etc. You know what the outcome was? They actually did better. They did better in those schools than they did in these so-called Ivy League schools because, again, they don't really admit too many people into these schools. The majority of the people they admit are white women and Asian people. It's like less than 10% blacks, and I think maybe like 11% Hispanic. So you're not really missing out on anything. And when it comes to when people say, okay, Stephanie, fine, that's colleges and universities or whatever, but what about employment? Listen, companies have been secretly discriminating and hiring since time has begun. Companies that actually understand the benefit of diversity will never stop hiring through diversity. When you have companies that just don't want you there, you really don't need to work there because they're going to make your work experience and your time there miserable as fuck, and you're going to be exposed to all types of hostile work environment. Why would you want to do that? But I'm bringing this out to you to let you know that this is not anything new. This has been going on for a long time. So it says here what? This month, President Trump's Department of Justice accused Yale of illegal admissions discrimination against white and Asian students. Didn't I tell y'all? This is what they do, because these are the majority of the students in these schools. So when you say, "Oh, we no longer going to consider race for admissions," these two groups, whites and Asians, get upset because, let's be real, white people only get into these schools because of legacy and because they have money. We've already seen tons of damn stories in the news where rich people, celebrities even, have paid God knows how much money to get their kids into the school when their kids are dumb as fuck and don't even deserve to be there. But because mommy and daddy can buy a new wing to the college or to the school, they go, okay, we're gonna wait list them, we'll put them in. But now when it comes to the Asian and white people, the ones that got to work hard or they think work hard to get in there, they're not going to be able to just waltz in there anymore. And this is what's going to make people upset, because they're not just going to say, "Oh, Asian, we normally let them in because there's a quota requirement, race requirement." No, now they're really going to have to work for their seat. And they know that in having to really work for their seat, a lot of them are not going to get accepted the way that they used to. So let's see if they show anything on this study. Hold on. And this is again Proposition 209. Does it talk about anything with the applicants? All right, so URM applicants, right? And when they're talking about URM, they're talking about underrepresented minority, right? So those applicants' wages declined by, let me see, let me do it. Undergraduate and graduate degree attainment declined overall, and in the STEM fields, especially among lower testing applicants. What they say, as a result, the average URM applicants' wages declined by 5% annually, ages between 25 and 34, almost wholly driven by declines among Hispanic applicants. Okay. By the mid 1910s, Proposition 209 had caused a cumulative decline in the number of early career URM Californians earning over 100,000 by at least 3%. Proposition 209 also, that is, this is the part that's important. Proposition 209 also deterred. It does not say did not admit, didn't want to review or consider their application. Deterred meaning these people took it upon themselves not to apply for the school because they psyched themselves out and thought that they would not be given a chance. So anyway, they deterred thousands of qualified, you see, URMs students from applying to any UC campus, enrolling at less selective UC campuses did not improve URM students' performance or persistence in STEM course. So basically, it's proving what I was telling you. Even though this happened over 24 years ago, people, when they had the ability to apply to these colleges because of race, the percentage of them applying and getting accepted didn't change. When they were told that, okay, now we're going to say, now that white people are saying this reverse discrimination, we're going to say that we're going to take away the race requirement, as I read to you earlier, right? And now you just got to get in on your own merits. The same percentage of people applied, got in, or didn't care about it altogether. So I'm just trying to tell you, don't go crazy about losing affirmative action, because if people are really going to give you a chance, they're going to give you a chance regardless. If they're not, then you're just not going to get a chance. And there's nothing anyone can do to really make them do it. Even though you got laws on the books, all of us that live and work in the real world, we know that most times those laws are not enforced. And you don't want to work anywhere where or go to school where you have to deal with passive aggressive nonsense from white and Asian students, or microaggressions that make it seem like every second of your day is consumed with an asshole fucking with you. And this is just the reality. So don't sweat that shit. But what I want to do is go back to the actual article and look at, let me go this way. Is it taking, I want to go back, guys. All right, here I am. I want to go back to the striking down. Hold up. All right. So y'all remember this? This is part of the decision. Well, not this decision. This actual argument that came before the Supreme Court that they just decided on June 29th was part of that whole package. I forget the name of the suit from I think it was Mississippi with the Roe versus Wade. Now, when you read this whole entire thing, right? This is like what 237 pages. They reference a lot of what was the first? The other one was like 100 and some pages. So this one is like 100 more. So anyway, when you go back to the Roe versus Wade decision, you see this included, as well as if you go, you don't have to read the whole thing, but skim through the majority of it, and you will be able to literally see all of the next topics that these people will be coming after people to bother and to try to get rid of in order to slow the progression down of people of color and black people, because they feel like you're doing too much in your life and you're getting too free. You're exercising too much autonomy for them to be comfortable with. And that's really what it is, because when you have people that could work from home, create their own businesses and be able to live off of them, or making money off of their YouTube channel, and they don't have to do a regular 9 to 5, that makes cities, states, and towns uncomfortable, because they rely on the masses of people to pay into the infrastructure, pay your tolls, pay your taxes, put gas in your car, go over that bridge, take that bus, get into that subway. They need that, generates money for the city. And when you have people being self-sustaining, that really does put fear into people that are in control in the government, because they feel like if the people are able to circumvent all the things we put in place to control almost everything they do as if it's a regiment, then we will absolutely have chaos in society. And even though that might sound completely crazy to you, but it is really the situation a lot of times, because they must maintain their version of order. And when they don't get it, they get a little crazy. So I just wanted to clear that up for anybody that had any kind of worries, concerns, or thinking that, like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Naya, get out of here. The sky is falling. So, their whole life was coming to an end, when it's not. They've already done this and used another title, because they try to dupe us all the time by using semantics with things, calling an apple an orange and an orange an apple, to do things when, it's already been done, but because you weren't paying attention to it, it got past you. So now when they say, oh, look, ta-da, this is what it's done, too many people lose their mind, and they shouldn't. So now to the important stuff. All right. So this is a new federal law I wanted all the women to be aware of. There's a new federal law that helps pregnant women, okay? And at the end of the live, I'm going to put all of the links below so you can go on, read it, and do everything you need to do with it. So basically, this is the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. And what it does is that it ensures that pregnant workers get reasonable accommodations in the workplace without fear of being fired or retaliated. This is important, y'all, because I also want y'all to know that when it comes to your job and your HR, you have an EEO department that should have an EEO officer. When you get pregnant, you should be filling out a reasonable accommodations with HR and with the EEO officer, whoever that is on your job, because you're entitled to small amounts of payments for short-term disability for being pregnant. So you need to come on to this link when I supply it down below, and you can come on to find out about all the reasonable accommodations that are offered to women 8 months pregnant and lower by the employers, what they legally have to do. So they will say now, under the new law, a pregnant worker can go to their employer and ask for a reasonable accommodation, and they discuss whether it can be granted. If the employer doesn't approve the request, the pregnant employee can file a challenge with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. I just told y'all that. Currently, the law doesn't provide any hard set rules for accommodation, but by the end of the year, the EEOC will announce a list of accommodations subject to public comment. But normally this is how it goes, guys, so you could get the gist of this. When you're at work and let's say you breastfeed, or you got some type of, God forbid, some type of pregnancy condition where you need to take your medicine at a certain time, or you just need to put your feet up for a certain amount of time, whatever the case may be, you're going to put in the reasonable accommodation with your job through HR, your supervisor, however it goes on your job. Now, your job and your supervisor could say, oh, we don't approve this. We don't care about this. That's not the end of the process. That's one step. The second step would be that same sheet now goes to the EEO and the EEO officer, right? They do their review, etc., and then it goes to the real EEOC. They are the ones that make the determination on your reasonable accommodation and will give you the yes to the accommodation or the no. So I need y'all to know that, because there are a lot of pregnant women, especially Black women, still working up until like really when they shouldn't be, late weeks into their pregnancy. So these are the things that you need to know that can help you transition to motherhood a lot smoother, with less pressure on your body, less worry, stress, and issue and drama at the job. So I really wanted you guys to actually know about this, and that's, and just be aware of it. Go on, check it out, and do all the things you need to do. That's what I wanted to do. So I did it. Now, this here is, I want y'all to see this. This is a new finance place. I'm always thinking about y'all when it comes to finances, right? This is Penny Finance. And Penny Finance, for all my ladies that are hesitant to start investing and they have questions about retirement and how to pay off debt, voila, we'll see. This is Penny Finance. And what Penny Finance is that website that will teach you how to worry about paying off debt, how to start investing, and how to start dealing with your retirement in older age. And it's also a money maker quizzer, so it gives you little quizzes and little tricks about how to spend less, how to make more here, what to do with pennies, even talks about financial mentoring and etc. This is a good place for y'all to start. The ribbon at the bottom tells you everything they do. When it comes back around, we'll get it. Buying a home, make money essentials, right? I'm starting over because I saw the ribbon come back around. Money for retirement, all right? Debt and loans, okay? And then we have investing 101. What else do we have going on here? Tax planning, very important. Tax planning is important because everything I mentioned prior to that, taxes has a play in all of that. So there we go, right? So when we scroll down, we'll see some of the things they got here. That right away, this window right here that says my money. Remember, I had put up a post in my on my community page about amortization, how you come up with the amount of money and the percentages that money will incur over time through maturity and etc. With banking and investment. This is it in your face, live, right here. This is right now talking about a savings account. Then next to it is an investment link, and I'm pretty sure checkings and whatever else, or a loan on the other side, because that's usually all four of those things work together. Then they talking about tailoring your insights, right? And basically that's just moving money around and saving money. And then they're giving you education here, so you got a place to get some more education. Oh, look, my mini budget. They're telling you how to get your dream home. How? Oh, most importantly, I like this feature right here. Look, spending and anxiety. So they deal with you with breaking down that anxiety and putting it to rest. This is one of the coolest financial sites that I've found for women thus far. And don't be jerks and don't go on this website and don't really take advantage of it, because I know over the year or two or whatever it is I've been on YouTube, because I don't really give a damn. I've given you guys tons of financial websites. Y'all should be financial goddamn geniuses by now. Stop playing around, y'all, and really start going on these websites and learning bits and pieces of finances and how to work your money and make it grow for you. This is important. All right. And I'm going to show you again. Let me pull up my lady just for you guys to see her, because she's very important. Give me 1 second. Millennial in debt. All right. I want y'all to see her, because this again is millennial in debt. Like, did it show up? Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me see. Yeah, okay, she's here. So this is millennial in debt. I told you she is a YouTuber who used to be a teacher that transitioned into tech. Everyday woman like you and me, but because she has such fabulous black girl money moves, she blew up. They featured her in many articles. She's a sponsor for quite a few financial institutions, and she is actually somebody that has lived the dream. And she's also a living example of a person that can go from having no financial education and savvy to somebody that is completely debt free and is a fucking financial powerhouse. So she's amazing. And I'm not into this kind of stuff, but if you are, you take advantage of it. I don't pay anybody for anything on YouTube or internet. When I need stuff done, I go to actual firms, different people where I know they've been there. That's just me, brick and mortar. And I go in there, yell, scream and shit at somebody when stuff is not right. But if this is what you're into, this lady, I have never ever thought of her to be a snake oil salesman or somebody that's trying to finagle you out of your money. So unlike that Erica and Williams and them people over there, I, they took me for mine. But I don't know. That's up to you. But make sure you do your vetting and your background check as much as you can before you drop any nickels on people. But the stories that she has, read it, learn everything you can to help you empower yourself. Because that's what I'm about over here. And I've told y'all that, you know that. I've always been doing that from day one. I'm getting really tired of black women just coming on YouTube and talking all day about goddamn relationships with black males and all the rest of the stuff that's happening with them. Please, please start loving yourself more, centering yourself more, and doing for you. Because they gonna forever be out in them streets busting you in the head and shit in restaurants. And since y'all like to keep talking about the black woman in New York City in the liquor store, get the shit right. She wasn't bit in the eye. They didn't try to bite her eye out. She was bit in the fucking forehead by an asshole who was just released from Rikers Island maybe a week prior to that attack, right? He had a long history of domestic violence. It was whooping women's asses left and right. And the only reason why they caught him after that incident with him and his little boys, right? They caught all three of those jerks that beat that woman up, even though it was six or more of them that were involved in going outside and corralling her into that corner by the car. Only three of them really attacked her. And the guy that bit her, once again, loud and clear, on her forehead above her eye, was known as a biter. They have lunatics like that in prison and all other types of places. He likes to bite people because clearly he probably can't really fucking fight. So he bit her. Other people from around the way, they heard the commotion. A couple of guys, some women, they're the ones that broke the shit up before the police came. And that's the reason why the police couldn't find them after the attack happened, is because the people in New York City intervened and those jerks ran away. The people took the lady to the nearest hospital. I forget the hospital that's over there, but if you watch the news clips of the incident, it'll show you what I'm telling you. And that's what happened. So you're always going to have those type of guys out there. So it will behoove you to get your shit together financially, mentally, and every other type of way so that you don't have to live around these people. And I'm not one of these people that are trying to tell you move out of your community, because I have more sense. I know that most people can't afford to just get up and move like that, like it's that easy, because it's not. And if you live in a place like New York City, it doesn't matter where the fuck you live, you're going to have those maniacs everywhere around you, because that is just how it is here, all throughout the state. Like even in the most rural areas of the state, you have fucking crazy black people, crazy white people, and everybody else all over the place. So you can't escape them. So unless you're going to leave the planet, I don't know what else you're going to do, when you live here. So stop worrying about that. Just carry your weapons, get your licensed guns and your right to carry your knives, learn to fight, stop being pussies, stand up. And when people try to fuck with you, if they get off a hit the first time, you make sure you grab them up, just like if you're a fucking boxer, you get in close to that body and you go to work. See, the thing I'm trying to tell y'all is you have got to just stop taking the ass whipping. You got to fight back, and you got to do damage. You got to start damaging them. And it's happening because in addition to what's her name, Miss Hood's situation, there was another black woman. Let me see if I can get it for y'all, because I saw it on Marie Baker's channel. There was a black lady that had, oh yeah, here it go. Let me see if I can. Let me play it loud. It was a gas station attack. Oh no. That's the one where they beat that lady up by the she I don't know what the hell. She was oblivious, and that big fat fucker walked up to her and started beating her down by the pump. But then this other black lady, what I'm saying, how this is becoming a thing now, where I'm glad people are actually listening and they're standing up and defending themselves, because this other black woman, she was being beat by some loser, and she had a lot of reports and etc. And she killed his ass, like literally killed him. And because of what happened, there were no charges pressed. They can't do anything because of the circumstances of the situation. And the more people start to do that, the better off things will be, because when people realize that they just can't do stuff to you, they start to slow down. And y'all know I've been telling y'all that for like a whole year. People only bully you because they know they can. And when you make it difficult for them to bully you, and they really understand that you're not just going to fuck people up, they're going to fight back and they're going to try to injure you, then people will start to slow down. These dudes won't be so quick to attack you. And if they do, they know that, well, you know what? This person is going to probably stab me up, shoot me up, or do something else to me that I'm not expecting, because people are fighting back. When you have that environment, things change. But you got to get in the mindset of not being afraid of them, because there is nothing to be afraid of these people about. I'm telling you, it's really nothing. Like, everybody's been in a fight before. Everybody's had somebody try to attack them in some type of way. Most people anyway. So there's really, how come? Because I'm looking for this shit, I can't find it. Um, I wanted to show y'all the thing where, let me just look through it again real quick. I want to show you this lady that shot this guy. They was like, oh my God, she just killed somebody. And the dude just laying on the ground. The mother's crying. Oh, that's what it was. Wrong one. It's Pretty Black Magic. Let me see hers. Hold on, y'all. Let me get it. I want y'all to hear this shit. Because the lady was like, she's yelling and screaming about her son, right? But yet, her son, when he was whooping this lady's ass, she wasn't concerned with anything. But now that he got shot, now she's concerned. I want y'all to hear the lady when she was like, oh, she just killed somebody.
At the live desk tonight, I'm Tia Ewing. Corey.
So you can see the mama.
Hold on. Did I pass it?
So me.
Crazy.
So there it is.
All right, hold on. That shit was funny. She was like, oh my God, she just killed somebody. Oh, let me turn it all the way up. Hold on.
I'm nobody. Oh, please.
Where's that lady at?
Put hands on me. So there it is there.
Was handed over to police a week after Spencer's death.
Hold on.
But even though their family can identify the woman in the video that pulled the trigger,
my daughter, they know her. So when her hoodie fell off, we definitely knew that was her and her car.
Well, they really don't have enough proof. So let me keep going back to this. I pray to God she gets off.
All right, so I'm sorry I did that last second, so I didn't have it queued up, but this woman who was getting beat by this lady's son, right? She had a hoodie on, trying shit is crazy, trying to disguise herself, right? Right, there it is. And this guy was in some area. She rode up to him, got out the car, shot him 3 times, left him face down, and then her hoodie fell off because it was a lady recording through her bedroom window that was watching it, and that was how the family identified it was the girlfriend. But the police and everything said it's not enough for us to go on, so we can't do it. They couldn't do anything about it, so I'm gonna try to play it so you can hear it.
He didn't do nothing. He was good. That man worked every day.
This video evidence was handed over to police a week after Spencer's death. But even though their family can identify the woman in the video that pulled the trigger,
my daughter, they know her. So when her hoodie fell off, we definitely knew that was her and her car.
Spencer says she's been given the runaround.
I need Kim Fox to call me now. Because the police blame state's attorney blame the police.
And the Cook County State's Attorney's Office says there's not enough evidence to move ahead with the case.
You as a state's attorney had one job, and that was to prosecute her. You can't tell me if that was your family member. Would that be okay with you? You never had a weapon, had a gun, had a knife, had a stick, had a brick, had nothing. So we trying to understand how is that justified.
Well, here's what the state's attorney's office had to say. They sent us a statement saying, after a thorough review, we concluded that the totality of the evidence was insufficient to meet our burden of proof to file criminal charges related to this incident. The statement went on to say the office is open to reviewing any additional evidence in the future. All
right, that's a reality people have a hard time swallowing, and we understand that because of the Miss Hood situation, right? With all these idiot black males on YouTube, and dumbass black women talking about this woman being wrong for not just leaving the restaurant, walk away. How many black women are we gonna see walk away that still get punched in the fucking head, kicked in the back, slapped in the face? Oh, like my girl from the damn gas station when homie drop kicked her. You remember when she was throwing the cans and shit at the car because he was beating her up inside and messing with her and whatever. He came back. She tried to walk away, and he came back and flew across the parking lot like he's some type of nigga ninja and drop kicked the lady. and you had these lunatics videotaping this shit, cracking up and thinking shit was hysterical, instead of like hosing this motherfucker up with some gasoline and throwing a fucking match on him. Like, come on, y'all. What the hell are y'all doing out here? You just letting random fools run around attacking people when you could literally end them or deal with them because they're menaces to our society. But Black women, you're going to have to get to the point where you really understand that all these people out here, all these people, other types of people, and these black males, they like to hurt you. They like to see you suffer. They like to see you going through all types of excruciating situations because of YouTube, because of all of the black woman hate speech on YouTube. And the fact that you got these black males on here 24 hours a day running your name into the mud and talking about how trash you are. And now you have white guys doing it too, and others. So when you have that, like I said earlier in those shorts I did, when you see those videos, you got to stop playing around, stop being, how they say, a fence sitter, stop with the mediocrity bullshit, and be about black women, and stop being a male identified woman who's more concerned about a dude and having some sex than standing up and doing the right thing, because you're not gonna take it seriously until it's your turn to be thrown around a fucking restaurant and slapped about or drop kicked and shit. And then you'll realize that it's serious. The seriousness of it is that when you see these dumbasses making these videos about hurting us and talking about how this woman was wrong, you need to take that link to that video, go on the FBI's page, fill out that C3 form, and let them handle them. That's it. Make sure you type up in your narrative, this video is promoting black femicide. It is promoting hate speech against black women. This person is a domestic terrorist. They're promoting death, violence, and maltreatment towards black women, whatever else. And you just keep on writing and explaining to them just how much of a threat this person is, how dangerous the words they are saying are going to affect our society, and that people like this should not be given a platform to spew hatred and and to incentivize violence. You got to do that. Sorry, I couldn't get my slipper. I was trying to pull my slipper from underneath the damn chair for like the longest. So anyway, that's what you do when you're tired of seeing that shit, because I know I am. You can get frustrated, make videos about how ridiculous they are. We know they're ridiculous. But if we want shit to stop, we have to set the people after them who are actually going to make them stop, because we don't control YouTube. We don't have anything to do with this. So you got to get the government move and stop. You got to get the governmental agency that could regulate them to get on their ass and make that shit stop completely. That's the only way it will stop. So, and y'all got to stop with that whole punk mindset, like being afraid, and stop it. If you don't fight and stand, people gonna always have their foot in your ass. That's just how it is. Okay? You have got to fight. Period. You got to fight back. Even if it's not physical, you got to fight back by voting. Fight by protesting. Fight back by boycotting. Fight back by speaking out against things, taking a political stand, doing whatever you got to do, rallying people to say, well, you know what? The same way y'all did that pink day for black women, you say, well, you know what? Since nobody's caring about our black femicide and these maniacs attacking us in the street, we won't go to work for 2 weeks. We won't use public transit. Not 2 weeks, 2 days. Okay, 2 weeks is too much. I know I overstepped. We won't go to work for 2 days. We won't use public transit for a whole week. We won't use this. We won't buy that. You have to do something where it affects the money. People in this country only respond to losing money. So if where you live, there's something that they make a lot of money off of that black women usually pay a whole lot of money into, you just come together, get a few people, and tell them, look, on this day and this day, we're not buying this shit. We're not dealing with this. We want to make them understand we're not playing. And that's the only way they're going to stand up and listen. Now, as more lawsuits come out from people like Miss Hood and others, right, who are getting attacked by these losers in the street, white people's going to have to pay out money. They're going to get upset. Nobody likes to pay for something they didn't do and that they're not a part of because another person is a fool and has no impulse control. So they're going to get angry and they're going to start putting things into place in society where they don't have to pay anymore for these people who don't know how to control themselves, which means, i.e., or otherwise known as, they're going to start throwing their asses in jail abundantly. What are you doing? Will you knock it off, Naya? You're going to be in the crate. You better lay down. And that's basically how it goes. So I want y'all to understand that is really where it's at. I mean, that's it. All this hoopla and carrying on about these dudes when it's not that serious. Like, carry your stuff to fuck them up. Don't be afraid. Stop pulling back from them and cowering and shit like that. When they swing, block. If you can't block, duck. Yeah, if you get caught, grab that motherfucker. Hold him tight. Wrap your fucking arm around his. Pull your fucking knife out of your goddamn waistband. Juke that motherfucker up like he's in fucking Rikers or something. Just juke him up. Shank him till he can't stand. Fucking take that knife since you smaller and you're a woman. Put that blade underneath his motherfucking nutsack. Push it all the way in and rip it all the way the fuck up to the stomach. Open him up. If he wants to fight and he feels like he got the right to hurt and kill you, defend yourself. Deal with the cops and shit later. It might work in your favor. That seems to be what's happening. People are tired of them. You got to think about it. They've been bugging out the whole fucking year. In California, running up into rich people's houses, shooting and killing old black women that, the old lady, her husband was some big time man in music and movies. They killed her, stole shit out of her house. They were all up in the designer stores, breaking in glass, snatching and run. People going into the goddamn Walgreens and every other store, loading up cartons, just walking out. People are tired of this shit now. And now, instead of them saying, just fucking kill them when they attack you, they're not pressing charges. They're not putting people in jail. Y'all got to learn to read between the fucking lines, okay? They're telling you, since they're out here acting like assholes, and we police and everybody else can't be everywhere all the fucking time, you're gonna have to fend for yourself. We're giving you that fucking pass. So start taking it. Seriously, don't you see what's happening? So when they out there trying to get strong on you and swing on you like they think they Mike Tyson, all you do is go, all right, nigga, I'll take that hit to the head. I'm good. But now I'm going to wrap up around that fucking bicep of yours. I'm going to pull this big ass motherfucking hunting knife out of the front of my pants. And I'm going to try to go to the back of your fucking spine and pull around you and cut you literally in fucking half. Or I'm going to just keep digging you and yanking you out and digging and yanking you out until you got chunks of your body on the floor and your intestine starts oozing out. That's what I'm going to do for you. Since you think, oh, I'm just going to grab a black woman and beat her ass today. Oh, yeah, you're going to grab the right black woman and you're going to be fucking-bowled. That can happen. Because you got to protect yourself. When people attack you, you got to defend yourself in some type of way. There's no other way around it. The police ain't crazy. They know this too. How many people are they going to keep cleaning up off of the pavement? Because these fools can't get their shit together. This is America. They have ample opportunity to take their ignorant ass to school and get a high school diploma, get a damn degree, get a job, even if you don't get a degree. Okay? Go out there and break your fucking back like every Jose and every Raul that I've known. Get your ass out there and get to work. Stop coming on YouTube talking shit about the Bible, 50-50, how to con the fucking government because your girlfriend or the woman you're preying on is on Section 8. Stop all that bullshit, because all of that is a way for you to try to get somebody to take care of your big grown ass when you should be taking care of yourself. And black women, if you didn't hear my video the other day, I'm going to tell you today, don't you fall for that bullshit. Don't you fall for none of those dudes talking about let's defraud the government by, if you got Section 8 and I come live with you, I'm going to go get a job. We going to do this. We going to do that. Use them like they're using us. No, no, no. Your fucking name is on all that paperwork, not that bum's. Okay? Your ass will be the one going to federal prison for the rest of your fucking life. Okay? And fuck around in some states and you might end up on death row. You never know. Stranger things have happened. So do not fuck around with these people, because they do not, black women, these dudes do not care about you. They only care about getting free pussy, living in your house, and getting from you what they can't give to themselves. So when you see this shit on here, you need to turn it the fuck off. Go watch a hair video. Go watch a lash video. A shake your ass video. Do watch anything else but some ignorant black motherfucker talking to you about relationships, how to be a woman, what to do as a woman, and how to deal with a man in a relationship, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And all of that is gaslighting tactics to get you to let this nigga come live in your house, sleep on your couch, run up in you, play PlayStation, and not contribute to a fucking thing in that house, plus violate your children. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. How long are you going to be used by dumbasses? I'm serious. It's like 1 for the dumbasses and 0 for the black women. Like, they're winning. Wake up. None of this shit is rocket science. It really isn't. Now, lately, I have been quite entertained by quite a few lives I thought were most hilarious when it comes to them, right? I saw a good one today in reference to the whole hood and all this type of stuff, where black women, you really just got to understand that. We spoke about this a year ago when I was talking shit about DZ and her channel, and how she was talking about how once black women, and all this stuff has come to pass if y'all are not paying attention. That divestment started telling y'all about a year ago that when you start to move away from these guys, get your life together, live better, feel better about yourself, right? Which is true. They were right about this. That they will brutally attack you more than they were doing prior to black femicide increasing in numbers, right? Because it has gone up. Within the last 18 months, it is damn near skyrocketed way past the numbers in 2020 and in the beginning of 2021. Okay, so anyway, they told you that was going to happen. So as you're looking at this, you need to do the other thing everybody was telling you to do. Get your guns. I told you, get your bulletproof vest. Get your ass in the dojo. Learn to fight. Go to get some martial arts training. Go to the range.
Just tonight.
Right? Get weapons, put them on your body. Get all type of tactical gear to wear from head to toe. I told you, they're bulletproof sweat hoodies. They're bulletproof hats. They're bulletproof backpacks. So that just in case one day it's fucking hot, you can't put on a bulletproof jacket from head to toe. You be sweating like a motherfucker. But you could put on a bulletproof backpack and wear it in the front or wear it on the back, whatever. Just put the shit on so that you have some protection from any type of bullets flying. All right? You have to start thinking preventatively instead of reactively. If those are even 2 words. I don't know. I just said that shit, right? But you got to prevent shit instead of reacting to it. Because right now, y'all are just living in the reaction zone. You letting shit happen and then, oh, afterwards. No. Prevent that shit. Seriously. Now, Cara D, she had a really good video about this woman, Miss Hood, and she made a great comment. And it was the truth. If this woman who had a license to carry and she actually had a weapon, why is her fucking weapon in the car? Why wasn't it on her body in an area where, like I say again, you need to listen. Somebody's swinging on you. You are not a professional boxer. And even if you know how to fight, chances are you're still going to fucking get hit. You take the hit, you shake that shit off, you block it, you do whatever you got to do to minimize the damage. You grab that motherfucker and you either shoot him at close range or you stab the shit out of them at close range. You do what you got to do to save yourself. And I told y'all before, I'll tell you again. Even this is a fucking weapon. This is a regular pen. You still load, right? You use this shit, you stab them up in all the vital areas. Neck, eye is done. All right? That's what you got to do. All right. So now let me move on to this next part. This is important. This here is, you know how we talked about when you're looking to increase your money and stuff like that, you need to have training, and not everything should or could be done on Google certificates. So you have another place to look, and this has been literally mentioned on many people's channels because I've seen it myself. I've seen Cherie talk about this. Who else was speaking about this? Millennial and Debt has spoke about this. A couple other people. What's her name? The finance girl. God damn, what is her name? I got. Hold on, let me see. Let me find her on the other phone. Let me see. What's the finance? Clever Girl Finances. There we go. They've all mentioned this. Let me go in here. This is regular LinkedIn, right? On this particular LinkedIn, right? Because they have different parts to it. These are the popular courses, right? So stop, Naya. Stop running through this house like that. So then you have unlimited access, expert instructors, and on your schedule. And these are for the popular courses. So here you see it says learn the most relevant skills with business, creative, and tech courses. Dozens of courses added each week. So you see here they give you a month free trial, and then they go into all the other things they offer. All these things tie into your regular LinkedIn profile, so that while you're doing these things and you're looking for these type of positions or whatever particular job you're looking for, whoever is checking you out on LinkedIn will see, okay, this person not only has these credentials, this work experience, but they're also trying to grow some skills, learn some more transitional skills by taking some of these popular courses. And then there you go, right? So these are some more things that are out here for you to take advantage of. And that's really what it's about. Like you got to take advantage of these things so that you improve. And this is all part of loving yourself and centering yourself more. Then we have this. This is from CNBC. This is a segment on their website called Make It, right? On this particular segment, which is called Make It, they talk about success, money, work life, and companies that hire for particular things. This particular week, they were talking about 10 companies adopting a 4-day work week that are hiring right now, right? Now, let me just tell you about this. This is something that, although you'll see on Google News and etc., employers yelling and screaming about remote work and etc., talking about how it's a thing of the past and it's going away. Not altogether completely true, right? Now, you do have some remote companies that are pulling back, especially in the IT area, because of the fact that we actually have a recession that is really due to hit us because of all of the stuff that's going on in the world, right? Now, when exactly it will happen, who knows, right? But it's coming. So this is why those things are being said, and a lot of those people are holding on to their money and they're not hiring as much as they normally would have. But then you have this segment make it on CNBC website where it talks about the particular hiring trends with not exactly remote work, but at home work that most companies are adopting now. Because even me, at work today, we had another briefing about, like, I think the program is supposed to start in mid-July, right? 2 days out of the week, we're going to be required to work from home. 3 days in the office, 2 days at home. If you're like me and you have a different level job where you got to do one day in the field, 2 days in the office, and 2 days at home. That's what you're doing, right? Okay. So now other companies are picking that up, and it has something to do with this whole unspoken agreement that happened with the fallout from COVID and people getting comfortable staying home, having a better situation, work life, family conduciveness to living in the world as a result of COVID, and then the period of when people were trying to force workers back into the office. So this is the compromise, right? And you see here that a reintroduction of the 32-hour work week act in Congress is being challenged, right? And they're taking up that charge. And then they're talking about changing the definition of a work week from being 40 hours now to what I read today in the email, 37. Okay. So we'll see. Because every state, I guess, is going to be different with the hours. But this is a thing that is happening all across America. And you could thank the fallout from COVID for this. But let me keep going. These are the actual 10 companies that are hiring, right? Remotely or semi-remotely, whatever you want to call it, like on a regular basis. So you have this first one, Augury, which is a software company, right? This company, they say, helps detect machine malfunctions through ultrasonic sensors. Don't ask me to explain that because I don't know. Then you have the next one, Bolt Financial. What do they do? They offer clients such as e-commerce merchants a payment platform for their online stores. So if any of y'all have those like online stores, and you know, these are the people that would set up the payment between you and the customer, right? Or the supplier, whatever. Then what is this? DNS filter. So they help IT professionals filter unsafe web content and protect against digital threats. So, like a huge malware company, right? Do Big Things is a creative digital agency that offers services such as website design and spokesperson training. Okay, and this is Mid Valley, Cali. So this particular company, I can tell you right now, if y'all were taking any of those UX designs or any of those Google certificates, this is one of these type of companies you would want to put on a bulletin board and always look to see what roles they have open, because this would be the first place you would try to put in a resume at, and other startups or companies, small companies like these, instead of the huge ones who are less likely to hire you right away than, smaller companies like this. Then you have Kickstarter. This is a crowdfunding platform whose projects span films to board games. So now these are people crowdfunding. They take public funding and they sponsor projects. They pay for people to either invent things or get their businesses going. And then you got Merit America. Now, I don't really know much about this, but this Merit America is a nonprofit that creates pathways to careers in tech through technical training. It's out of Washington, D.C., so I guess you follow up on that. New Leaders provides equity-focused training to teachers, principals, and other education figures. That's here in New York City. I did not even know this thing existed. Okay. Poll Everywhere. Poll Everywhere creates online pollings. Oh yeah, I actually did one of these surveys in the last election. So and they usually paid about $50 to $75 for each survey. So Poll Everywhere creates online polling, surveys, quizzes, and more on behalf of his client. Now, when I took the poll, it was in reference to like what party do you belong to? Why would you? And they just kept asking you like all these why would you do this or vote for this questions to find out where people's heads were at in regards to why they would choose to vote for a candidate. So you have Samba Safety, and this sells software that helps its clients and their communities to be tech safe. And everybody should know ThreadUp. ThreadUp is a huge online thrift store, so they're hiring. What exactly, how what you would do, I don't know. But these are the people that are doing this on a regular basis. I don't know what this is. It said this former Wall Street analyst now lives on $53 a day in France. I'm sorry, but I'm curious as fuck. Hold on.
To get your best night's
Oh,
sleep,
god damn it.
you need to sleep in something
Hold on.
extraordinary, woven with a silky
Sorry,
softness
y'all.
unlike any other.
These goddamn
From organic
ads.
threads
They do
that
it
are
all the time to
snow-spun
us.
and finished in flame.
I'm curious. How do you live on
Made from
$53 a day in
ingredient
France?
so
France is
rare, less
expensive
than
as a
1%
motherfucker.
of the world's
I've got
cotton
to hear
meets
this
our
to believe
quality.
this.
It's the most
Is this commercial
extraordinary
ever going to
fabric
end?
ever made.
That's
Only
real cotton.
from
Did y'all
Bolin
see that? Did
Branch.
y'all see the thorns on that shit? All right, what
Je
they talking about?
m'appelle Casey.
Said,
J'habite
my name is
in
Casey.
Rennes.
I live in Rand.
Je...
Oh, okay.
J'adore la... Oh, I forget how to say food. My journey to become a travel blogger was born just out of the fact that I love travel. In 2013, that's when I made a decision that I wanted to travel around the world. But that 1 year turned into 2 years, 3 years. It became a full lifestyle. I'm finally a digital nomad. I'm going to own that title now.
My name is Casey Urban. I'm 31 years old. I'm from New Jersey, but I currently live in Rennes, France, and I live on $53 a day here.
How?
Before moving to Rennes, I had no idea where it was.
Me
I didn't
neither. I
know
don't even know
anything
where it
about
is.
it. But if you're curious, Rennes is in Brittany, France, which is a region.
No
It's in the
idea.
northwest, kind of close to England.
Oh God, it's like on the other side of France. What is with the white?
When I was little, I always was that person who excelled at everything that I did.
Homegirl is a little too
I
assimilated
had
for me.
straight A's the entire time. I had leadership positions. So I kind of was always on this mind track that I want to get a really high paying
You
job
better stop.
and kind of follow what my parents did. They worked in New
You are
York
really
City,
gonna
worked
be
on
in your
Wall
face.
Street, and I had my first internship at 16 at Morgan
Stop
Stanley.
running
So
around
I
here
just
like you
always
crazy
assumed
with your big
that
self.
I was going to be that Wall Street girl.
If you break anything, I'm breaking you. What? She quit.
I made a plan that I would take a 1 year career break. So I saved up money for 2 years. I was saving $1,000 a month with the goal of having $27,000 to travel around the world for 1 year. After 3 or 4 years of constant traveling around the world, I knew I was missing something to work on. Like I want to use my brain somehow. And that's when I decided to turn my travel blog from a hobby into more of a business. And I made my first investment, which was a $500 blogging course. And then once I finally invested money in myself, that's how I knew I was going to take blogging seriously. The reason I have moved to Rennes, France is because I follow my boyfriend. That's the really nice thing about being a travel blogger. I have the flexibility to just pick up and relocate to a new place. Living in France is cheaper than living in New York City.
That is
For me, it's
bullshit.
kind of funny because since I've been traveling since
That motherfucker is
2015, I've really
expensive.
been
She
living on a
lying.
budget. around
out of here,
$10,000 per
Get the
year.
hell away from me.
So France is considered expensive for me. Initially, I was scared to move to France because of the money issues, but once I set out my budget, I know I could spend $1,600 a month and I can definitely live a comfortable life here.
Welcome to my new home.
As a travel blogger, there's different ways to make income. One of my main ways is through brand collaborations, and they're usually paying me through either bank transfer or my PayPal business account.
A lot
If
of
I do
red
a brand
flags with this
collaboration, it could be anywhere from $300 to $2,000, depending on how much work and editing I need to do. Other streams of income are group trips
Look at the
where
euro.
I host people.
It's worth more than the American dollar.
When I host these trips, I'll get commission for organizing it.
I spend about
Okay.
$323 on travel.
All right, let me just say something. And I know for all you haters, I don't give a damn if you get mad. This is a lot of convoluted bullshit right here, right? This look good, but what she's saying, it does not sound good to me. First of all, she got to be a full-time blogger. Secondly, she has to have sponsors that give her money. And then thirdly, what was this other shit she was saying she was doing? Oh, when she had the food on the table selling shit. So you go from a steady check to 3 fucking ventures that you got to really hustle your ass off to make sure you get a check coming in. And there's no guarantee, but I guess she's okay because she has the white man's money to fall back on. But this is the reality of shit y'all got to think about and understand when you got all these people on here, because I've seen lots of people bigging up the Stephanie lady with the nomad and all this shit lifestyle. Fine, you can live outside the country, but living like that when your money is not a certainty, that's not safe, and it's not something I would suggest, because I've been to France and that shit is expensive as fuck. Now she may be in some rinky-dink little town just across the water from England, but I'm telling you, she has to have money or she's gonna be on the fucking street in no time. Okay, so I'm gonna let the rest of this play. It's not that much longer, like 4 minutes, but it's too much fantasy going on to women and it doesn't make sense. Like, she left an actually high paying job to run around with 3 or 4 jobs that may make more money depending on what she does in a month, instead of knowing how much money she's going to have constantly and then adding to it. Stuff like that is not something good to do. I don't give a goddamn how many people are here trying to tell you that you need to leave America because it's not safe and it's hostile to black women, etc. You go on and do that if you want to, but I'm telling you, as a person who's also traveled to a lot of these places, everywhere else ain't all that fucking safe for black women either. And France is definitely a place where you can't fuck around in too many places. You're not welcome because these are still white people where the slave colonizers originated from. So when you go there, they're not opening their arms and, oh, we love you, black woman, where you been all our lives. Every place is not welcoming with open arms. That is real bullshit. So be very clear and real aware of what you're walking into, because this is not Fantasy Island. The world is not very kind to black women, period. I mean, come on. She looked like probably the only black person in that particular area. What the hell's wrong with this lady? You can't be this fucking delusional in life. You really can. But let's keep going.
Travel per month and about $150 on entertainment like parties and etc. For example, I was just in Paris this past weekend and I went to a concert. The ticket costs $55 and drinks at the bar cost around $10 for a beer. My budget for eating out and groceries run about $609 per month.
Which is nice because I split my groceries with my boyfriend, so that probably keeps that cost a little
Oh, there we
lower.
go. 50
My
50.
phone plan, I actually still use my US number. Hey, Dad. How are you? And that's because as a travel blogger, I still am
And she is the only black person in that place. Did you see those pictures? Where were the rest of the black people?
constantly traveling. Even though my home base is France, since I'm going to be in different countries throughout the year, it's much easier just to stick to my US phone plan, which I love.
That is a great way to end up like them people in that movie Hostel. And if you think that shit don't really happen in Europe, you better think again. You talking about people who were the creators and the people who really acted out and was part of the Crusades. And if you know how brutal that shit is, it made medieval torture look like child's play.
I use Google Fee. I highly recommend it for any digital nomads because you get unlimited internet access, unlimited data.
It must fun to be. Oh, this is one of her
I'm working in Rome
sponsors.
with my
Okay,
boyfriend
that's
and we
why. There
pay
we go.
700 euros, whereas in
She's
Budapest,
working
we
right
were only
now.
spending around 600 euros for a full apartment with no roommates in the center of the city.
Rennes is a big student city. They have 60,000 students here. So
Now she's telling the truth, y'all. Let me just back this up, right? You see how she put those numbers on the screen? Okay. The city she's in, the reason why she can afford it and have to work those 3 sponsored jobs, right? Is because apparently in Rennes, this is where all of the students go. Now, mind you, let me tell y'all how this works. When you go to when you go to Paris, she's in Rennes, it's part of France, right? They have a train there called a bullet train, right? When she's as far out as she is, like she said, she's in a little town that is literally across the water from England, right? Means that she's like on the far outskirts, way far out into like southern France, I guess, right? And so it's going to be cheap there because most people are not going to be a tourist there. The majority of the country where people spend their money and do a lot of the circulation is not going to be there. So of course it's going to be affordable for her to do her blogging, live 50-50 with her boyfriend, and also pay those rents that she was talking about. Because have any of you heard of a Rhodes Scholar, right? When American people and other people from other countries go to Europe and other places to go to school, they're known as Rhodes Scholars. And there are lots of programs where people even can go to college in these countries for free, to like half tuition, full tuition, and etc. So that is the type of place that she's talking about, that she's living in when she's doing her job, working for this sponsor, which was Google, whatever the fuck it was, right? So this is the reality of stuff. Like, this is just a example of how when these people on here presenting this pretty package to you, everything that they're saying is not exactly as wonderful as they're trying to make it out to be. Because I've been there and it's hella expensive. It is more expensive than New York City and America all together. Like, every day living there was money. And when you're not a citizen of this country, you have to pay taxes everywhere you go. That is another thing people do not tell you. Like, if y'all ever plan a trip to Paris, anywhere in France, please know that if you book your trip on Travelocity, book it a Delta, Expedia, wherever the fuck you book it, the money that you paid it for your plane tickets, your stay, and all your activities, that's one thing. When you get your butt to that hotel, when you check in, you will be paying a country tax that nobody fucking tells you about. That shit was $200 for me. Where you stay, I guess, depends on how much your tax is. But that is shit they don't tell you about when they talking about living all over the world. So I'm not trying to knock the hustle, but these motherfuckers are never honest. And I kind of feel that's the same way about the people with the YouTube channels. Because it's only been one person that I've ever seen on this platform that actually talked about the fact that she lives in Mexico and how that is not a place for black women to want to go live. What's that lady's name? Let me I was just watching a video of hers the other day. Oh, you know who it was? The lady that has the video Bald Girls Will Travel. She has another video too. She has like 2 or 3 channels, but she was talking about her experiences in Mexico and why it's not where black women should live. And when you think about the Hispanic culture and how they're very anti-black, she didn't have to tell me that shit twice. Like Maya Angelou said, people show you who you are, you believe them the first time, and I do. All right, let's finish watching the rest of this shit.
In September, everyone's coming in and they're all looking for apartments. So it's quite
You hear
difficult
it
to
say
find.
September,
The
right?
way I found a
That's because
place was I
school
went on
starts in September.
Airbnb, saw their apartment, which we are in now. And yeah, I just asked if it was okay to rent long term.
How you lie
So
with a straight
I'm
fucking face like that?
uninsured right now.
I most likely
God
will go
damn,
with
this is some
Safety Wing, which
treacherous
is a
shit.
nomad insurance. And that's because I still do travel quite a bit. With
Nomad
Safety Wing,
insurance.
it's $40 per month, and it will cover me while I'm in France.
Yeah, that is true. Let me tell them about that.
I
Hold on. Now, although she said nomad insurance, right? If nobody's ever told y'all, whenever you travel outside of America, which is the very first thing all of these expat people and all this other shit needs to tell you, is that you need a really good international travel insurance policy or plan. You go online, simply Google it. There are tons of them online. Whenever you go, you plan a trip, buy your insurance. It covers if you got to go to the hospital, you need emergency surgery, you need any type of medical care or something, or you fucking drop dead. You need to be covered so that your family does not have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get you the help you need when they can't afford it, or spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to ship your dead body back to America. That is the reality of this world. So, for those of you that have clicked off or got discouraged because I'm telling you the truth of life, you may want to rethink how you look at all of this information on YouTube, because the world is not, you know, rainbows and butterflies. It's real shit out here. And this lady is fucking deceiving as it gets. But we gonna finish it. Because you need to understand that. These people are mostly just trying to work their hustle. She needs to promote these different sponsors so her ass can get paid by deceiving you. And I'm not knocking her personally. I'm just really explaining and exposing to y'all what the fuck is going on here. Because you'll take your ass over to France and be living in the fucking street. They will kick your ass out, especially if it's summertime. Now, because it's Europe, you could find a place to stay or even squat. They will not kick you out all winter because winters are extremely harsh in Europe. So they have a law, national law, where they don't evict people in the wintertime. But as soon as it gets warm, your ass is up for grabs.
I am going to apply for the long stay visa in France. With this visa, there is a financial requirement. So I need to have 65 euros per day for 365 days. There's a lot of documents I'm going to need to show, which includes scanned copies of passports, a birth certificate, statement letters for your purpose of stay, a scanned copy of a medical insurance card, accommodation, either Airbnb booked or a letter from a host where you're going to stay, 3 months of your most recent checking account, 3 months of your most recent savings account, credit card statements proving your credit limit, and the visa cost
All right, before we get to the Visa card, let me just tell y'all, right? For her permit to live there every day for a year, that's already $27,375. So do you see, like, when I'm telling you these people make this shit look like it's nothing, when it is actually very complicated and a whole lot bigger than something, but it's just to sell the dream. That's all it's doing. You could do it if you want to, just be well informed, okay? Don't fall for the bullshit. This is gaslighting at its finest.
€100.
One thing I like about Rennes is it has a smaller city feel, like I don't feel overwhelmed. So a typical day, I'll wake up, grab a tea, I'll either have breakfast in my apartment, or maybe I'll take my bike and try and do some work on my laptop in a cafe. In the afternoon, hopefully I'm doing some work. That's what I should be doing. Sending emails to clients, creating a pitch deck, working on a group trip that I have because I'm running group trips to Antarctica and Uganda. There's like a million things I always have to do. So figuring out what to prioritize for that day. And then by the evening, it's really important for my boyfriend and I to share a meal together. So I'm usually the one that cooks. He's usually the one that cleans. So I'll cook a meal in the evening. I studied French for 7 years growing up, but my French is minimal because I am that stereotypical American that only knows English. One of the things that I struggle the most about living in France is that French people work on their own hours. Stores are only open for like a couple hours. They could be open from 11 to 2 and then like 7 to 10. So I think I'm just trying to get used to the time schedule. It's very different from American standards. Now that I've been out of the US for 6 years, I don't really see myself living there again or even raising a family. I don't think I will stay in France, but you never know. I never thought I would live in France in the first place. I might end up really loving my time here. I'm open. Like, just give me a globe, I'll spin it, and I'm like, okay, I'll live there. I'm down for random.
Here's the other thing, y'all. If you go to France and you don't speak French, right, you will not work. Tu ne travailles pas, right? You will not work. You will not. You will not. So think about that. You have to speak the language or you will not get a job. So if you don't parlez-vous français, you won't work. They'll look at you and be like, in broken English, do you speak French? And you're gonna be like, no. And then they're gonna look at you and go, okay, and go right back to what they're doing, like you're not even standing there. So this is why she does all of the work that she does at home or on her laptop with the blogging and the sponsorships and etc. That is very key here. Okay? So this is again another aspect of understanding what is going on when these people are painting this beautiful, beautiful picture for you that is not a real reality. It's not. And if you think I'm bullshitting, just like go on like hotels.com or something and look for a hotel in France, anywhere in France, right? She says she live in Rennes, right? Look for a hotel in Rennes and try to find how many hotels in Rennes speak English. I'm telling you. There are with areas like Paris and other places, Versailles, etc., because it's big tourist places, right? Central Pay, etc. They will have a few places that will speak English, but the majority of those people, they don't speak English. Well, I should say the establishments. So her boyfriend probably does. But the thing is, you can't work. So how what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do there? You don't work. That's what I said in French. You don't work. So if you can't work, what are you gonna do there? It's stupid. But this is all the traps that people put out here for you. And when you think about this, black women, the violence against you, the hate speech, the hostile work environments, the stupidity in America, the stupidity in the world, the recourse that you have is to center yourself, love yourself, and start making you first and foremost. And that way, you take all this information that's out there and you put it in a little mold of however you want to form it and make it work for you. But you just don't be out there blindly following the leaders of people like her and others, because you're going to end up ass out. Seriously. Seriously. You really are. I just want to hear it's almost over.
No adventures like that.
Oh, it is over. Good. That was very fucking disturbing for me. I will tell you, because I went to Paris y'all remember, last summer. You remember how crazy it was for me in the airport? Those people were hostile, cussing me out, talking about how much they did not like Americans. Y'all remember that goddamn video? If I could find it, I'll put it back up. They put my ass through it for one whole night. They didn't let me get on the fucking plane because they overbooked the plane. Then they was insulting the shit out of me, calling me all types of stupid, dirty Americans. And the funny motherfucker behind the ticket booth was talking about how, because I was black, I thought that, this has got to be a whole nother civil rights movement so I could leave Paris and go back to New York. Y'all remember that? You remember me doing that video, fuck Paris, right? Fuck France, whatever I said. Y'all remember that? And YouTube thought that shit was so funny. They did not even strike the fucking video down. They sent me an email telling me, Miss Edwards, we saw your video. Just change the title. Take the C out of the word and we leave it alone. So this goes to show you, like, that is not an American friendly place. People could talk all that crazy shit they want because they got to make money, because they got people that are sponsoring them. But the reality of shit is totally different. I was so fucking tight in that damn airport, but I knew if I got physical or violent, I'd be sitting in fucking jail in France to this day, right now. And no American government, diplomat, or anybody was coming to get me. What else we got? All right, so we went through the finances, we went through the companies. I have done everything. All right, so I have. All right, so if for the slow people in the back, when I give you real information, I am in no way trying to kill your dreams or kill your joy, because I know y'all tend to think like that way too much. Because for whatever reason, y'all are stuck on fucking fantasy. And this world ain't about fantasy. This shit is hard and difficult. And so you got to be as informed as you can to make sure you live a decent life and you don't live a hard life because you're misinformed and you're thinking that shit is wonderful when it's going to be extremely horrible. Shit, if anybody would have told me going to that particular fucking area of Paris was going to be that crazy, I would have never fucking went. Okay. Now the people was cool when I got there. My Asian lady at that hotel, she was the fucking best. But everything else, from the airport to customs to all that shit, getting in there, getting out, that shit was a nightmare. I don't think I want to do anytime soon. Not saying I would never do it again, because I do understand that I may not encounter those same assholes I did, maybe different assholes, but it was a lot dealing with them. And that flight is 6 to 7 fucking hours long. Okay, depending on what airline you're going on. When I took Delta going, it was 6 hours nonstop. But coming back on Air France, because a lot of those airlines have affiliations with each other where they could fly you in, but they got something contractual agreement where you can't return on the same. It's all types of shit. And then there's private jets and shit like that too that people take from Europe to America, but that shit is so anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. And those are the like underlining things that nobody on here is ever really talking about. And it's messed up because if you get all the way there and then you realize, God damn, this shit is a whole lot of extra money nobody ever told me I was going to have to put out or have to deal with because of so much fucking misinformation on YouTube. So I'm just telling you those things so that you have clarity and you have some more real facts to think about. And I would say don't ever not go anywhere in this world. Get your ass on a plane and go everywhere you want to go. But stop letting these people that are on here talking about relocating to other countries is the greatest thing. And when you get there, it's going to be fucking magical. It's not. And there are a lot of places in this world where you must speak the fucking language. And that place is one of them. Okay? And then you got to also understand that a lot of places outside of America are very, what do they call that word? Nationalistic, or they like their nationalized people. They will hire their, same thing right here. They'll hire their people first before they hire you. Now, if you're from America and you have a recruiter or you got a headhunter and they you're working for a company where you have the option of living there or you get a job there, that's totally different from what she's doing. She just picked up, went the fuck there, and now she's trying to find work, she's trying to live, and she's trying to convince you that her shit is not as difficult as it really is. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. And you got to be aware of this kind of stuff because people lie in front all the time on here. But it's difficult because I told y'all what happened to me. I mean, I went to the Eiffel Tower, right? Because they have a restaurant there. They have sights to be seen there. They have the elevator we go, and that shit is the tallest shit. You go all the way to the top if your stomach and your you don't have what's that shit called, vertigo, and you could go all the way up to the top. You could see the entire fucking country from the top of that tower. That shit is that fucking tall. You are literally up in the sky like you're in a fucking plane. That's how high that shit is. I couldn't believe it until I actually did it. I heard people telling me that the shit was hot. Like I was like, get the fuck out of here. It is no way. Yes, it is. Right? So anyway, it's so high. Like I said, it's like being in a plane. The fucking people and the things are this big from way up there. I'm like, how the fuck did they even make this shit? But now I'm going crazy. But I'm just telling you, like, black women. Look, there's a lot of traps in this world for us, but the best way to jump over them shits like you jumping over puddles in the rain is to be prepared with education and information. Then you could go out into a world full of fucking Swiss cheese on the ground, and you still gonna be walking on solid ground. You get what I'm saying? Because you gotta have the things you need to know in this world to make it anywhere. But when she lied and said living in Paris was equivalent to living in New York, she's lying. Because first off, we all know that the euro is more money than the American dollar almost all year long. Now, in the summertime, I'm going to be honest with you. That's the reason why I travel to Europe in the summertime. And in the beginning of, what do they call that? Fall? Because there are certain peak times when prices go up and prices go down because of the traffic, the tourism traffic, right? So in the summertime, you could get, like in the beginning of summer, like May into the first couple of weeks of June before June 21st, you could get decent flights to certain places that are dead cheap. But right after the 21st and summer is officially here, your shit is going to go from 500 to 1,000 to going to hit the roof, okay? They do it every year. Then when the summer is over and you're on a slow wind down into the fall and into winter, like end of September, beginning of October, you get a fucking flight as cheap as $539. And you may be lucky if you into like what is that shit they do when you have to lay over and all that. You can do that shit round trip if you got the energy for that. Your flight may be like 16 fucking hours, but it'll be like $500-$600. I can't do that shit. So I will pay whatever it is to go one way or the round trip because I can't fuck with that layover for 12 hours and then get on the plane. Nah, I'm not doing that shit because it's already almost 10 hours to get there. Because it's like The standard is 6 to 7 hours to go from New York City to Paris, France, or to London. 7 London is further, so it's probably between like 7 to 7.5, 8 hours, because you're going further, right? You can get to France before you get to England. Whatever. It's how they do the routes, not necessarily the geographic location. So if you went on Google right now, right, and you started, I told you could track tickets and plan trips through Google Tickets because they have a tracker running. It will email you when the tickets are cheap, and you could put the range of where you want the tickets to be, and Google will send you. They'll send you an email. Hey, Stephanie, Google Tracker found tickets to London, da 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 da, this price until this date. They do it. You could do it. I did a whole video on this for y'all. You could do that. So when I tell you there's no reason for you not to do what you need to do in life, just do it informed. I'm not fucking lying to you. I'm not hating like a lot of you people in the back think. I'm actually looking out and trying to look out for your welfare, but also inform you and let you know how the shit works. Because left up to those people and other ones on here, they will never tell you the fine print, so to speak, about how shit really fucking works. It's not a joke. And then you also got to remember, like, she's not talking about the fact that Europe is a hot spot for civil unrest. Like, they don't fuck around like Americans. If their government does something they don't like, all those people take to the street for days, weeks, months. They don't give a fuck. They're diehards. They're the same since the fucking French Revolution. They will tear fucking Europe down until they get what they want. So if you want to be over there dealing with that, getting stuck and all the rest of that, you knock yourself out. But that is a reality. I'm not saying that it's a reason for you not to do it, but it is part of the reality. Because just the other day, right? Because I pay attention to all the shit in the world, right? I really watch too much news. I need to knock it off. My brain is going to explode. There was a 17-year-old boy that was accidentally shot by a cop in France the other day. Not the other day, a couple of weeks ago. The people protested for 17 fucking days about that one boy. They would not let any traffic move. 17 days of nothing moving. They don't fuck around over there. So it's like you have to factor in all that stuff. And then when other countries have issues, civil wars or civil unrest, like all that shit rolls through the countries, and it brings a little backdraft with it. So they're not telling you none of that. They're not talking about none of the reality of that shit on any of those videos. So just keep all that in mind. And you need to always, if you want to know something about countries for real, you go listen to government. You go on that, what is that? State.gov, that travel website I told you. That is where you go to get all the information about being an expat or living out of America, coming back, fully getting away from America, giving up your citizenship, all that shit. All of that is on that goddamn website. That's another thing those people on those websites and blogs and shit don't tell you. That it is a lot of fucking money when you play with America and you want to give up your shit completely, or you're doing some of the things she's doing where you got taxes to pay. I never hear any of these people talking about the taxes that have to be paid. It's a reality, but now you know where to go find that out, from the actual horse's mouth and not anybody's fucking YouTube channel, because they leave all of the real shit out on purpose. Because, I mean, most people are used to me talking about stuff to its reality, and it's boring, and it is also sometimes it kills your joy. But the realities of life are often like that. But if you're used to me giving you videos, you know that is what I do. I give you the fucking truth, no matter how hard hitting it is. What you decide to do with that is on you. But it's true. Like, that was a very beautiful 8 minute. It was like 8 minutes and change video of a fake fucking life, because she's not living like that. She's not. And if she don't make that money that she needs from them sponsors, she's really going to have some problems. Plus, she has a language barrier and a color barrier, because if you think they're not prejudiced over there, you crazy too, because they are. They are. Everybody is not in love with the noir. They're not. So, come on, y'all. Y'all got to understand that a lot of these people are just on here doing what every fucking body else is doing. And that's making money so they can live, and they don't give a fuck what happens to you. That's all of this shit. And that brings me back around to like back to Miss Hood and everybody else again. It's disrespect Black women you're gonna go through, but it is rites of passage you must experience, because you need that harsh treatment to get you where you're supposed to be. And where you're supposed to be is full autonomy, full freedom, liberté, right? Full freedom, because you don't have to worry about no ties to somebody trying to live off you, bring you down, fuck up your credit, wear out your bank account, wear out your ass, fuck you up, whatever. You don't have to worry about that. You deal with the passive aggressive white supremacy, racism, and etc., and you still go on and live a beautiful life. That's what you want in this world. But it's a price to pay for that. And the price to pay for that is dealing with situations like Miss Hood. But you don't have to let that get you down. The more you prepare for it, the more you be able to turn that type of situation around to your benefit, and for you to have less of an impact than she had, you know? And that's just how I look at shit, because this is how it is. Like, ain't nobody's wide eye wonderment of the world gonna ever change the realities of the world. The world is hard. It's extremely hard. There's a lot of beautiful things in it and a lot of beautiful people, but there's still gonna be a lot of pebbles and shit underneath your feet when you walking, because that's just how shit is. Yep. But let me just look up here on this browser, see what the fuck I missed anything. All right. We talked about the Supreme Court, the finances, the pregnant workers' rights. What was this thing with the companies? We did the companies where remote versus partial remote becoming the new normal. I'm very excited, y'all. I cannot wait to be home during the week, 2 days during the week, playing on the computer instead of being in my cubicle. It's nice though. It got glass all around, soundproof. I'm supposed to be in there working. I'm in there listening to music. The other day I was harassing Crystal Swirls when she had a live. I was fucking with her. It was like I was having fun. Right? Who else do I harass when I'm in the office? Mature Black female, I bother her. It's a few people that have lives during the time I'm at work. I'll just be harassing everybody in the chat. It's fun. This is fun. Nobody can hear me. Shit is soundproof. So this is fun. But it's shit you gotta go through, Black women. So once that becomes a new normal, those remote days and in office days, I think that you're gonna see a change in American life. I really believe, this is just me, right? I think that people will become happier, because that release from the everyday around everybody, some people you like, some people you don't, deadlines, whatever, it will make a difference if you get a chance to breathe with all the work that you have to do. You get a chance to like, okay, today I don't have to go in, but I got to get all this work done by 5 o'clock. So I work right now. My hours are 9 to 5. I'm gonna get flex time soon, so they change around, right? But as long as I get up and I'm logged on by 9 o'clock and I log out by 5, nobody's worrying about me. Nobody ain't worrying about me at all. And wouldn't you think that would make people who work and people who are in society normally much happier, more at ease, less stress than they are right now? I think so. I really think so. But we're going to see. Who knows? It might go in the opposite direction. And you get more people running up on people than they are right now. But listen, I'm going to just let you know it's summertime. And in this city, people get fucked up just because it's hot. That's reason enough for these people. So if you start seeing within the next couple of months, or not next couple of months, next couple of weeks to the next month, a whole bunch of people getting fucked up here, just know it is par for the course. Every summer they act like fucking fools, okay? They just do. They start hurting people, they start shooting, they start acting crazy, they start killing themselves and killing up, and they just go wild. And believe me, it's coming because what? Kids got out of school, what was it, the 28th or the 27th? So they ain't even been home a whole week yet. So just wait, it's coming. There's gonna be a whole lot of stupidity going on because people just getting started. They just riling up for the summer, and it's starting to get hot, like really hot. Like I really have two fans blowing like this on me because my asthma I can't fuck with air conditioning. So it's getting hot. So that means that people gonna start acting crazy, being crazy, and then y'all get the stories right, okay? She didn't get bit in the eye. She didn't get her eye bit out. She got bit on the fucking forehead above the eye, above the shit on the bone. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all just be making up your own stories. Above the fucking eye. Got bit in the eye, bit her eye out. No, it was the forehead. Right in this area, right around here somewhere. I believe the same eye, the right eye, like right over here somewhere. Didn't matter though, because when the cops caught his ass, they beat his ass. Both his eyes was black, so he got his ass whooped for that. You better believe it. So that was it. Him and his little man in the black leather coat. I still remember them assholes like it was yesterday. You had the main idiot in the red leather bomber, and then you had with the fur on the hood and shit, and then you had his homeboy with the black one with the fuzzy, and then you had another one with like it looked like one of them what's that, Louis Vuitton. Let me think. Was it Louis Vuitton? I think so. Where they used to have these jackets where they look like what do you call those coats? Like it looked like a mantel shirt with the deep lapels would be material, and then the rest of the jacket would be like either leather with goose down all through it, or just like the regular goose down material with corduroy or leather at the top. Who was the designer that used to do that shit? Because it was like one summer everybody was wearing them shits. The polo guy, I can't remember his name right now, but polo. It's a polo coat. So it was those three fools. I remember them to this day, and they all got their ass beat correctly, and they were in when they catch. I think they caught them like a week to 2 weeks after that shit happened, and the way they caught him was like this: Mr. Red Jacket, the one who bit her on the forehead, not eye, forehead. He was a domestic violence specialist. So he was beating up his girlfriend. And see how karma works. She saw on the news with the rest of us that little asshole who was on, I think he was on parole or some shit like that. he was the one who bit the lady on her forehead with his other two goons, harassing her outside that liquor store, right? Ended up whipping her ass up a week or so later after that incident, over that incident and some money. So you see how life works? And so after she got fucked up, tossed all around, thrown all around, and got basically ripped off by this character, she called the detectives and told them, my boyfriend is the guy you're looking for, blah, 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 blah. And that's how they got all those dudes. All right. So, all right. I'm going to go now, drink some wine, watch Chevalier one more time. That shit was really good. And and that Mexican movie about the hot Cheetos, that shit is funny. That was a funny movie. Y'all like comedy? Watch that movie. Okay, I forget the name of it right now, but it's one of them Hulu movies, right? Remember I told y'all it was coming? The inventor of the hot Cheetos was a Mexican janitor. That guy was fucking hilarious. And if any of that movie was true, that dude is somebody you would want to know in real life because he was a funny dude. Completely crazy, man. Crazy in a good way. Like everything to him was like jokes and shit. Like he was funny. He was very funny. And his son was hilarious too. The little boy. The little boy is the actual person that gave them the whole family incentive for the hot Cheetos because he was one of them little kids that really liked to put hot sauce and extra peppers, like to the point where his mouth was like on fire. And he's like, oh, it's really burning. And they're like, burning in a good or a bad way. He's like, in a good way. shit was hilarious. It really was. But anyway, all right, I'm done. Y'all could go back to your, which you shouldn't be doing, to your stupid fucking man talk and worrying about them getting upset and arguing over if Miss Hood should have just shut up and walked away. Can we be real? If somebody is fucking arguing with you, you're going to argue back. Even I try to control myself, but I tend to do it too, right? It is a natural thing to yell back at somebody who's fucking yelling at you. So please stop that. Stop blaming Black women for everything. Hold people accountable for their own actions. Okay. That lady was doing what any other person would do, regardless of her being a Black woman. If somebody's yelling and acting crazy with you, most times you're gonna yell and act crazy back with them. That's just how shit goes. Okay. What can I tell you? I know one thing. I cannot wait till she sue the fuck out of everybody. And she gonna get paid. You hear me? Get paid. All that bullshit about and that's another thing I'm gonna tell y'all. Stop letting people convince y'all of silly shit. Like this woman has like 3 lawsuits pending. She has the DA monitoring her because of a wrongdoing or maltreatment by the police. Anybody try to fuck with her or her son, they are fucking stupid because everybody in that city that she's got a fucking lawsuit on is going to be watching her like a fucking hawk because you got to understand now, these people have money to lose. So they're going to be watching her and have other people watching her so they could find something on her where they could go to the judge. She don't deserve that much. This is what we found out. Or this is what we saw. This is what she did. That's the type of level you at now. So for all of y'all that were out there talking all that craziness about how she needs to move because of Chicago and her son and her are going to be a threat because these bum ass motherfuckers on YouTube supposedly put money on their head. They can't even afford $2.50. How they put money on somebody's head? But even if they did, the person who takes up the charge is a fucking idiot because everybody's watching this lady. She got 3 fucking lawsuits against the entire city. Are you fucking crazy? You got to be the dumbest motherfucker in the world or they paying you an endless amount of money because That would be the only way I would ever take up a charge, because they're watching this woman, because they need now to assassinate her character so that they can win. You understand? They probably following this lady all over, her and her son, waiting for him to fucking take anything out the store he shouldn't have, do anything just so they can assassinate their character and make it seem like, you see, we told you they was fucked up to begin with. Because remember how they just took everything negative about these people and ran with it, right? They didn't do no police work. They didn't do no real investigation. They just took the words of hating ass, venomous, hateful women and men who wanted to paint this woman out to be something she absolutely wasn't. And now they have to deal with the consequences of that. And if you do not think that they're going to go out their way to do damage control, you're crazy. Okay? When she take a shit, they're going to know how many times she flushed the toilet. Okay? Because that is what they're going to do, because it is money on the line. Okay? So fuck all that. She's good, okay? I just want her to win all her lawsuits and then go buy a big old house in a beautiful fucking island and live there comfortably for the rest of her life, okay? Because when she wins, she gonna get a decent amount. They locked her the fuck up. That's false imprisonment, violation of the state law. You do know that in the state they come from, it is the law for you to protect yourself and for another person to protect you from somebody else hurting you if it seems like your life is in jeopardy. And that is what her child did when he shot that dude and killed him, because her life was in jeopardy. Because when you look at that video, when he started hitting that lady, he did not stop. And it was probably his intention not to stop. And then when you look at his record, he's a domestic violence specialist as well. Because he had beat up a couple of women to the point where they didn't want to be around him, left him, had some twins by him, and he's the crazy domestic violence specialist, who is no longer here anymore because the divine mother and Ra stepped in and waxed that ass. But don't be so short-sighted in how you think. If you don't know how shit goes when it goes to the procedures of suing and the government being involved, Google is your friend. Sit down and learn that they don't be playing with people. They're going to have people following that lady, recording her, taking pictures of her and everything, even interacting with her without her even knowing it, because they need to win. And they will try to do everything they can to win. And I'm telling you. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go now because I'm talking and talking and talking. It's probably going to be like 3 o'clock in the morning soon. Anyway, please hit those investment information and sites when I put them in the description of this video. Please go to, Penny Finance, because it will help you to begin to invest. I know a lot of people spoke about their hesitation towards investing because of the money risk and not really knowing what to do. I felt the same way when I began years ago, but I'm here to tell you, you can do it, and I did it. You can do it, and I did it. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it. Learn, try it, get better at it, succeed at it. That's the way you want to do it, okay? Because you can. Don't worry about affirmative action. Your ass wasn't benefiting or dealing with it, participating in it in any way. You know from me tonight that shit happened. A ruling, Proposition 209, took that shit out and off the table 20 years before. So it ain't nothing to get all worked up about. Companies are going to hire you if they believe in diversity. If they believe in wicked, underhanded, we got a closed culture, type hiring practice over here, and that's what the fuck it's going to be. And there's nothing you can do to change it, so just keep moving on to the next thing. Okay? All right. This is your homework. Penny Finances follow up, millennialindebt.com follow up. Take advantage of all that information on there. And what else is there you can take advantage of? LinkedIn Learning. Okay? I don't want no fucking excuses. I want y'all to get up off your ass, put some of these ridiculous relationship videos on pause for 2 hours of the day. Take those 3 websites I spoke to you about, the LinkedIn, Penny Finances, and millennialindebt.com, and you take an hour and learn some shit. And I mean that shit every day. I don't care if it's when you before you get up in the morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever. You take an hour, you learn some shit. You study some shit, you do some shit. You take the time to invest in yourself. Start with an hour for the first month. Next month, 2 hours. Next month after that, anything over 2 hours that you're comfortable with. Build up your attention span and your endurance and your stick to itness. That's my phrase for learning something that is going to help you in the long run. Do not fuck around. Do what I'm telling you because it will benefit you. The more repetition you have with something you're unfamiliar with, the more you will master it in a small amount of time. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The practice makes perfect works in this situation. So get to practicing and get to working on that, okay? I'm going to go. Next time I'll come back with some fiery fucking content where we could be yelling and screaming and cussing, okay? Tonight was about real shit, information, and y'all delving into trying to build up that money and finding out how that money works, okay? Good night. You see I'm spent, I'm dragging, I'm about to fall asleep in the goddamn chair. So I'm about to go. But before I go to sleep, because I'm about to close this eye and be out, I'm gonna edit this video and put all those links underneath this video for you. I'm gonna start with Penny Finance first. That's important. LinkedIn and then Millennial in Debt and all the rest of the shit you could not pay attention to if you don't want to. But those are the 3 main ones. I want you to save them on your browser and hit them every day and do 1 hour of the 3 of them together and retain that information. Okay, Black women? Good night. Naya, I'm going to rough you up now.